Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited to share this build with you all. This is our second build utilising some of the new sort of gameplay elements from The Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, and today we are building a family home for a single mum and her young daughter, who I envision as a child. That's who I created this house for. And the mum actually runs a daycare from her home, hence the little sign just on the left there. I'd already pulled those items out prior to filming because I could not remember for the life of me which pack those items came from, and for anyone who is curious, the two main items, so the rainbow and then like the freezer bunny one, they're actually from Get Famous, and then the sign behind that is from Cats and Dogs, just in case anyone's curious, but they're not fully put together yet. I simply just pulled them out of the catalogue so that I could place them after I'd done the landscaping and finalised the overall shape of the house. But yeah, I'm really excited actually to be able to share this build with you all. I adore how this house turned out. It's super colourful on the outside and on the interior as well. It's really fun. There's plenty of activities for the mum and the children that are going to be in her care when she's obviously running the daycare from home. There's just plenty of activities for everyone to get involved in, and I also think my kind of idea for this was obviously single mum, daughter who is a child, and I think the daughter, when she comes home from school, she loves helping her mum. If any of the children are still there when she comes home from school, I think she really likes to help out her mum and take care of, I think the mum primarily takes care of infants and toddlers, but every now and again she'll actually take care of a child as well. That's what I envisioned, but it really depends how you want to run this business. Obviously you can use this house as a base, you can change anything that you would like. But yeah, it runs as a fully functional daycare. So I'd be really curious to see how you would all sort of lay this out, how you would section all of the bits off, because whilst I'm talking about things like that, I think I should just explain what my thought process was with the interior of the house. Obviously, we'll go into more detail when we actually move on to the interior, but as well as a dedicated room that you could definitely section off as the primary sort of business running area, there's plenty of activities dotted throughout the property as well. So the kitchen, the living room, that's primarily it, to be completely honest. There's a desk with a computer set up in the kitchen dining room. There's plenty of toys like throughout the living room and the kitchen dining room as well. I think it's probably best that I start to explain that a little bit more in depth when we actually move on to the interior of the house, because it's just easier to explain obviously when I can see visually exactly what I did. I also completely set up the garden with kids activities so that obviously in the summer or the spring or the summer, then your Sims can kind of come out here and really enjoy the weather and do some outdoor activities. I used a lot of items from the little campus kit, specifically the outdoor screen that you can use. It was just, all of the items came together super beautifully. So I'd just love to see how this would actually function as a daycare. And I know it's possible because people have done it. They've run daycares successfully with the new pack. So that was another reason that I wanted to create this build, because now we have that functionality. It means that we can have businesses in our Sims homes, which is giving me major Sims 2 vibes, because I'm almost positive in the Sims 2 that was an option. In fact, I'm 100% positive that was an option in the Sims 2, and it's just giving me major Sims 2 vibes, and I'm a huge Sims 2 girly. I grew up on the Sims 2, so for me to say that is like, I don't know, it just makes sense, you know. But the house structure, the house like colour scheme and everything has pretty much come together. Now we do start working on the landscaping, and I'm still missing my tool mod and better build by. Obviously those mods have not yet been updated. Understandable, the game itself has just had a major overhaul and update, so might be a little while before we see any updates regarding those mods, but I'm definitely missing them because I didn't realise how much I used the eyedropper tool within debug to allow me to like copy debug items, because obviously within the game, just as is vanilla, you can't do that, which is such a shame. I really wish the team would implement being able to eyedrop debug items. It would just make things so much easier, genuinely. And then I didn't ever think I would say this, but I actually missed the tool mod. For the longest time, me and the tool mod just weren't going to be a thing, and then people were like, Rachel, you just need to give it a chance, even just to do basic stuff like sizing things up and down, or like elevating things ever so slightly, or lowering things ever so slightly to make them sort of look like they're not floating on a surface, for example. I can honestly say that, yep, I'm missing it, and that's okay. It's okay. Anyway, landscaping is pretty much done. We just stick with like really, really simple landscaping with this one. There's obviously a lot of greenery with pops of hot pink, and then of course some splashes of white, which is something that I will typically do with my builds just to keep things fresh, and it helps break up as well. When you're just using green and then one colour for the flowers, it just helps break everything up. And then one thing I do really love about this house is that it has a side porch. It has a couple of side porches actually, but one of them's really tiny, and in truth the only reason that I actually added that in was to hide the roof piece, which is over the bay window at the back. I don't know if anyone's picked up on that, but that now that I've pointed it out, then you've something that you're probably gonna notice. But I just thought I'd be fully transparent about it. There's a hopscotch out here, of course. We do have some activities out here. I do end up adding a swing set as well, because I just thought that would be a really nice addition. Here we are, here's the swing set. And because the back garden, I already had an idea of what I wanted to put there, I thought the swing set out front would actually just be really nice, and it really does help set the scene that this is a house, but also a daycare as well. I loved adding all of the different items and just cluttering things up. I loved playing around with colour in this build. It feels like it's been a while since I've really been kind of able to go fully nuts with colours and be a little bit more fun with the interiors of my houses and the exterior as well. It's been a while since I've created a yellow house, but I remember I found a reference image on Pinterest months ago at this point, and it was yellow and it had like orange shutters, and it was so cute. And I remember thinking, I need to create another yellow home relatively soon. It really inspired me, even though, like I say, it was months ago at this point. But anyway, we are just carrying the landscaping on from the front to the back of the house. As you can see, the garden's not particularly big, but this lot size actually ended up being perfect for this sort of build. I can't imagine there's anything worse than trying to run a daycare in like a mansion. I just don't think that's very practical. I think in terms of gameplay, you'd really struggle with it. So it was nice to be able to build something on a slightly smaller lot. I'm saying that like I always build on like 64 by 64 lots, which I never do. But compared to the lot size that I was building on yesterday, which was only a 30 by 30 in San Myshuno, if you can believe that. But I think because there was so much more that like went into that build in a way. Like in a way, there's a lot that went into this build as well, in terms of me thinking activities and clutter and colour and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. And then look at these cute little sculptures from Growing Together, like just around the sign here. I just thought, oh my goodness, it's starting to come together so well. This is when I started to really fall in love with the build, was when everything was coming together. The yellow was there, the blues, the hot pinks, just everything came together superbly. And honestly, I'm so pleased with this, genuinely. And this is where I decided that I wanted to try something with the windows, because I don't know about you guys, but like the biggest roof pitch in the middle, it just looked very vacant, I guess. But I think I end up just keeping the square window from Cats and Dogs. I decided not to overcomplicate it. And then this is where we work on the back garden. So this is where we start pulling out items from the little campus kit. So there's like a little area here where the child Sims specifically, and I think toddlers would be able to utilize this space as well. Obviously there's like the little paddling pool here, and then, but I'm pretty sure toddlers will be able to climb up onto these chairs, right? Because I also had to bear in mind that there's a child that lives in this house full time, the mum's daughter. So I needed there to be plenty of activities, not only for the daycare side of things, but also plenty of activities for the child that lives here full time. And I loved adding this rainbow in the back garden. It just really carried that branding through to the back garden, and I think it looks fantastic. Honestly, it's so much fun, and I absolutely adore it. We add this picnic bench, which I can honestly say I've never used in this swatch. I just thought it looked so beautiful, so colourful, and just really, really fun. I love how this turned out. And then we just add some of these, I'm not entirely sure what they're classed as from Growing Together. I don't think they're in the rug category because technically they are supposed to be used outside, but there is a moment in this build, sorry, I feel like I just lost my voice for a second there. There's a moment in this build where I actually use it in the kitchen dining space, which you'll see when we move on to that. But anyway, this is where we're trying to lay out the floor plan for the entire house. And then I was thinking, well, it's a single mum with a child, but then I also wanted there to be, as I was explaining earlier, a designated space for the daycare area, as well as, you know, like, again, as I was explaining earlier, sorry, I'm struggling with talking, and I feel like I'm saying this a lot at the moment. Anyway, plenty of activities dotted throughout the build as well. And also a really fun thing that I added to this build was a home office for the mum, because perhaps I'm not entirely sure if this works in The Sims, probably not, but she probably advertises her business on social media. She's probably, because she's a younger mum, again, as I was explaining earlier, I think she's quite au fait with social media and knowing how to market herself and her business via social media. I decided to give her her own office, but also within her office is like, there's a yoga mat, there's candles, there's an incense stick, and it was really important for me to have a place where this mum could go to just take 10-15 minutes for herself. Because having a child and running a daycare from your own home, it's going to be stressful. So for her to have that designated space, it was absolutely crucial, and is crucial for the functioning of this business. She needs to be able to take care of herself, and I think that it's really funny actually, because the room in question, which again I'll explain a little bit better when we move on to that room, there's only an archway there, so it depends how you want to pan this out. Now I imagine that it's a space that's only for the mum, you know, that's her safe haven space. I'm so sorry. And the funny thing is that in true RachelPedd fashion, I decided to just have an archway there instead of like a door that actually closes and locks. In my infinite wisdom. So you might want to consider perhaps changing that to a door. I would do this myself, but this is already up on the gallery. Oh, I've just realised that I've made her her safe haven, and anyone can walk in there and disturb her peace, which is in like exactly the opposite of my intention. Anyway, the living room is coming together beautifully. I used a wide variety of items from a wide variety of packs. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this or if it's even worth mentioning at this point, but I'm going to anyway. This is not a pack restricted build, unfortunately. I just went to town. I really wanted to see how all of the items from different packs would integrate themselves into this particular build that I was wanting to sort of achieve with this. But yeah, I love it. There's plenty of clutter going on here. I wanted the living room to be, it's probably a place where mum relaxes with her daughter on an evening. They watch movies together, eat some popcorn and just chill out. But I also wanted it to be a very usable, functional space for the daycare as well. That was really important to me. So I'm hoping I got that across, and I absolutely adore these teal cushions against the yellow sofas. I think they look fantastic, and then throwing down this little yellow cushion on the armchair as well really helped tie that in with the sofa and the love seat. I did. I genuinely love that. And then I had a change of heart and I decided to change up the wood. Everything was looking just a little bit too washed out, a little bit too beigey and cream for my particular taste. So I do end up swapping it out for, I believe this flooring is from Base Game. And I feel like it's been a while since I've used it. It's a staple. It's a fantastic floor. And it's one that I do use frequently, but one that I haven't used for a little bit of time. Anyway, the living room's done. There's a few bits that we tweak, but I think I kept all of that on camera. And then we do move on to the kitchen area here. As you can see, it's a very, 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 very good sized house. When I moved on to the interior of this, I was like, oh, these rooms are actually quite big, which I realised was perfect for the sort of lot that I wanted this to be, running a daycare. It's going to be really important for you to have plenty of space. There's going to be, I mean, I don't know how many children she would look after at any given time. Maybe two? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know whether you can look after more than one or whether you just have to look after one, and then I'm not entirely sure. So if anyone does know, I'd be really interested to kind of hear that. But anyway, the counters that we end up using here are from the Base Game. These were very recently added and I have been using them quite a bit actually, but I have not yet used them in this beautiful teal blue colour. And I just thought, for this house, because we are playing with colour, we're not afraid of colour in this house, and I just thought, oh, this is perfect. The tiles are from the new Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, and I discovered these yesterday when I was completing my other Businesses and Hobbies build, and I was like, hello, new favourite tile, how are you? So I was like, these definitely need to be utilised in this house as well. And then here we're just picking out a dining room table, and I actually landed on this one from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. I feel like I used quite a few items from that pack, but that's okay because obviously we are setting up a home business, which is the whole point of the pack, so I figured that was okay. But I really liked them, and these seats, the dining chairs, sorry, they're also from the new pack. And then this is when I decided to add like a little high chair as well. I thought that might come in handy. And then we had this big vacant space over here. And usually if I was just creating like a typical family house, this might make me panic just a teeny little bit. However, with this build, I felt like I could really just add activities to any empty and plain spaces. So it definitely took that pressure off, and it just means that there's even more things for your Sims to do here as part of the daycare. So I just thought it worked out really well. There's plenty of bookcases around here so that like they can read to one another and things like that. I also thought it was a really nice idea to have this computer here, and the kind of thought process with this was that I think this is a computer that the mum has had for ages, and when she designated her office space, she bought herself a new computer and then kind of donated this one to the daycare rather than go out and buy a whole new computer, because let's be honest, if children are using it, it's gonna get some hammering. You know, it's not gonna be well cared for, let's say. So I thought that was a really nice idea. And then I almost forgot to add my little post-it notes from the Parenthood debug menu onto the fridge. Oh, almost forgot. And then I was like, oh no, we need to put them on there. So it's perhaps like names and numbers of the parents of the children that she looks after. I like thinking about things like that, actually. You know, when you're actually thinking about, oh, okay, so that I'm going to put that item there, and then I start thinking as to why I've put that item there. Does anyone else do that? Or is that just a me thing? I'm sure other people do it. Anyway, then we work on the downstairs bathroom. I'm not actually sure if I've explained that this is a 2-bed, 3-bathroom house. Now, if you did not want to use this house as a daycare, this could definitely be a 3-bed, 3-bath house. But as I was explaining and have explained at the beginning and throughout the entire video, we do have a room upstairs that's dedicated for the daycare, rather than just having all of the items spread out in the house, which we already have. I'm aware of that. But like, we have both options there. So if you did want to designate that area and sort of cut it off from the rest of the house, then that's something that you can do. So the downstairs bathroom came together really, really quickly. It was a really funny shape, so it did stump me for a little bit there, but it was really important for me to kind of fit everything in. And I'm just looking, I did put a sink in there, right? There must be a sink in there. Oh no, I'm not convinced there's a sink in that bathroom. Okay, if there's not, then I am so sorry. If there is, it'll be a miracle. I need to see it. The screen's moving around. Anyway, well, it's done now. It's done and dusted. Anyway, then this is the hallway. If there is not a sink in that bathroom, I am going to apologise profusely, and I'm just going to say I have no idea what I was thinking. Genuinely have no idea what I was thinking. I just know that I'm sorry, and I'm very disappointed in myself. Anyway, so yeah, the hallway's done. The hallway was also really big, which was a little bit of a surprise, let's say. And then I do move on to Mum's office. So this is the room that I was explaining when we were working on the living room. This is Mum's safe haven. This is where she does her social media posts, and this is where she does her yoga, her wellness. This is like her wellness room, but it is her home office. So I'm going to be honest, I was going to turn this into some sort of play area, and then I was like, well, that doesn't really work, does it? So yeah, this is the yoga mat. This is when I decided to pull the yoga mat out, because I was going to do it as like a home office and then with kids' toys. But then I was like, but then this poor woman has nowhere to go. That's just hers. And I think that was really, really important for like storytelling purposes. And I just really wanted to make this her corner of her own home. So there's lots of plants here. Like I said, we had like a little radio on the floor as well. We had some candles and incense. Oh, she probably comes down here like on a morning to set herself up for the day, you know? Like I will have a good non-stressful day today. I feel like I need one of these rooms. I need like a yoga mat and an incense stick in my office. That would be really good. But yes, anyway, here are the candles. So these candles are actually from Love Struck. I adore these candles. If anyone is curious, I am a sucker for candles. Both in my Sims builds and in real life, I have plenty of candle in my home in real life. I'm pretty sure we have a candle in every single one of the rooms in our house. Like, genuinely. But anyway, like, we've moved on to the bathroom upstairs, which is the one that I would say when the kids come over to obviously to the daycare, this is the bathroom that they use. But also, this is the bathroom that the daughter uses as well. So there's quite a lot of sort of clutter items that sort of allude to that fact. And then this is when I also decide to add like a little potty in here. Now, I think potentially for gameplay purposes, I'd be tempted to add one to the downstairs bathroom as well. And speaking of the downstairs bathroom, I have checked. There is a sink in there. I don't know why I had a moment of, oh no, I think I might have forgotten the sink. It's just my brain. But there is a sink in there. I can feel people watching this and then seeing me put the sink down and then watching me freak out thinking that I haven't put a sink down and thinking, Rachel, you need to calm down, there's a sink in there, don't worry. And even if there wasn't, like, is it the end of the world? No. But I'd have just kicked myself, you know? Anyway, this is the ensuite off of Mum's room, and I love how this looks actually, although for me it's too long. But with the window placement, etc., there wasn't really much else that I could do with this, so I was just trying to use the space as best I could. And then, like, now that I'm putting these lights down, I just thought it was worth mentioning that I do end up removing some. Whilst I really like those lights, they are from base game, the ceiling lights that is. And I was going through the house and I'm thinking, there's a lot of lights in here, like for like what reason? So I ended up removing some just because I feel like they'd get in the way when you're trying to play it, you know? Anyway, okay, we need to talk about this bedroom because I'm going to say something that I haven't said either ever or for the longest time, which is I love this bedroom. Now, for anyone who's a little bit confused about what I'm talking about, my main bedrooms, I never, ever, ever say, I I love this main bedroom. I say it about my toddler rooms, kids rooms, teen rooms, because I've got those nailed down. I know how to do them. I know, like, when I'm picking a theme, I know which colour schemes I want to use. I know which items I want to use. But main bedrooms, I'm always like, I just never really like them. This is an exception to that rule, and I'm so pleased with this. I used this new bed, which is from Businesses and Hobbies, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is so pretty. And then I paired it with this rug, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember for the life of me which pack this is from. I want to say it's from For Rent, but I'm just guessing. That is merely speculation. But if anyone knows for sure, please let me know in the comments down below, because I feel like that's a rug I've never used, first of all, and secondly, I'm going to forget that it exists and will likely forget to use it again, you know. And then I pulled out, oh my goodness, this rug from Snowy Escape, the fluffy one. I have not used that rug in the longest time, and it felt so refreshing to use it again. I was just like, oh, I'm obsessed. So that's Mum's room done, and then we move on to the daughter's room. It took me a little bit of time to work out what flooring and wallpaper I wanted to use, and then what bed I wanted to use. I didn't know what colour scheme I wanted to go for, but then I put this bed down, from High School Years. Oh, I love this bed so much. It's so beautiful. Honestly, it's so cute. The pattern, the orange with the yellow and the teal, I'm obsessed. I'm truly obsessed. And then I put on these curtains over the windows from High School Years as well, which I absolutely adored. And then it took me a little bit of time to work out the rug situation as well. Like, that also stumped me until I finally found my groove. And then everything from here on out is pretty straightforward. Like, we do a lot of cluttering, of course, in here. This is a really good sized room. Actually, I'm just looking at this back and thinking, this is a really nice sized room. And I also loved adding this little shell chair. I barely use that, but I just thought with the colour scheme that we were going for in here, and for anyone who's curious, I've applied a filter, so I was looking at orange, pink and yellow items to really help tie everything together. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, filtering by colour I think helps so much, because it shows you things that you might not necessarily not know are there. That's not fair, but things that you wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards, because then more often than not they're not the first swatch of the item, if that makes sense. And so I love using that feature within Build and Buy. I think it's fantastic, and especially when I'm doing kids rooms, when I've decided, right, this is the colour scheme that I'm going to use and this is the colour scheme I'm going to go for. It's really handy. So I love this. I also used quite a few items. I say quite a few items. A few items from the High School Years pack. But like I said, this is a child sim. She's not a teen. She's definitely a child. So I just thought I'd make that disclaimer as well. Anyway, this is where we start adding more clutter. You can see that the room has really come together now. I love it. This little side unit, I suppose you could call it, is from High School Years. I think I loved the stickers, like all over the top and then the front as well. And looking back, I kind of wish I'd have given her a TV, but she does have like a tablet convertible computer thing in here. So I didn't really think that was necessary. But of course, if you would like to add one, then please, like, feel free. We all know at this point, if you want to make any changes, then do it. Oh, and I took the wardrobe out. That functions as a dresser though. I'm pretty sure the High School Years cabinet there functions as like a wardrobe / dresser, which is probably the reason that I moved the wardrobe, because I was thinking, well, what's the point? It just seemed a bit pointless having the wardrobe there. One may argue that it's even more pointless to have a laundry basket that doesn't function as one, but it's RachelPedd logic, so so there's that. Anyway, that's the daughter's room now done, and we've now moved on to the final room of the house, which is the designated room for the daycare. So I love this. I love the like jigsaw carpet, the curtains, the wallpaper that we used. It's such a fun space. There's a bookcase in here, as I was saying at the beginning. There's a cot / crib, a changing table. There's plenty of activities for the kids to partake in here. Yeah, that makes sense. I just had to make sure for a second there. But yeah, I had to use this little raccoon toy as well from the new pack, because I mean, look how cute that is. Like, really. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video and this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the rambly voiceover as always. I feel like because I put up a video yesterday, I'm putting up another one today. I don't know what happens to my brain. I just feel like I overthink things sometimes. But anyway, I hope it was entertaining and enjoyable nonetheless. But if you would like to download this build, it's available from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just below. You can get them for free from SimFileShare. But thank you so much everyone for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye!